remember that they're changing my voice. Before I get into Psalm 89, I'd like to remind you that I have over 22 witnesses on record in recordings, in videos that are posted, and tons of other evidence that they're sabotaging me, including fuming me and covertly poisoning me. Okay, so that is irrefutable proof, basically, when you put in its proper context. I'm somebody who not only has a college degree, but I earned my college degree during the course of making these videos. Went back to college in 2010. I was persecuted heavily, had to take some time off of college, and I graduated in 2015, okay, with a bachelor's in information technology with a concentration in software engineering, okay? So it is profoundly insulting to people's intelligence, and worse, to pretend that magically it doesn't mean anything. Obviously, I am sabotaged to the extreme, daily. Psalm 89. A maskil of Ethan the Ezrahite. I will sing of the Lord's great love forever. With my mouth I will make your faithfulness known through all generations. I will declare that your love stands firm forever, that you have established your faithfulness in heaven itself. You said, I have made a covenant with my chosen one. I have sworn to David my servant. I will establish your line forever and make your throne firm through all generations. Remember, Jesus in the New Testament said, the spirit is everything, the flesh means nothing. That is key here. He also says, why don't you judge for yourselves what is right and stop judging by mere appearances, instead judge correctly. And we'll get into Galatians 3:28 and Galatians 4 that overkill, that they're not talking about the flesh of a people in a story, but the spiritual idea that is referred to. The heavens praised your wonders, Lord, your faithfulness too, in the assembly of the holy ones. For who in the skies above can compare with the Lord? Who is like the Lord among the heavenly beings? In the council of the holy ones, God is greatly feared. He is more awesome than all who surround him. Who is like you, Lord God Almighty? You, Lord, are mighty, and your faithfulness surrounds you. You rule over the surging sea. When its waves mount up, you still them. You crushed Rahab like one of the slain. With your strong arm, you scattered your enemies. Now, racist Jews might interpret this as you crushed black people in Egypt, but that's not what it's saying. It is in fact saying the opposite. All these people who follow Set, right? Whites is a play on words for why Set, okay? They crushed the spirit of adversity in Egypt to the Royal African Falcon Martial Art Order. Remember, there was fake depictions of Horus, fake ideas of the Son of God in Egypt. There was Set, okay? There was Sekhmet. There was Sobek, the crocodile, okay? There was Taweret, the hippo deity, and on, all kinds of deities there that were false idols based on gene expressions, but outside the divine order. They're mere flesh and not spirit, false idols. The heavens are yours, and yours also the earth. Okay, also it says, you crushed Rahab like one of the slain. With your strong arm, you scattered your enemies, right? Spiritually, okay? When God made the heavens and the earth, was he merely, scattering people into different nations like a slave trader can accomplish? No. Why would it point to something that somebody with the mere flesh and technology can accomplish as well? They're referring to the spirit of justice triumphing and always coming out on top. The heavens are yours, and yours also the earth. You founded the world and all that is in it. You created the north and the south. Tabor and Hermon sing for joy at your name. Your arm is endowed with power. Your hand is strong. Your right hand exalted. Okay, so it's endowed with spiritual power. Not Western theater arts, propaganda, psychology, kind of role-playing like a cheesy porn skit. But we are talking about that which is divine, otherworldly, transcendent, endowed with power. That's why if you're not a deep person that thinks in terms of martial arts, you have like no chance of understanding what they're saying. Because what is your brain going to associate with? Conan the Barbarian, the movie? some nerdy pastor in some church that you can't tell the difference between a church where they're pedophile, where their preacher is a child molester? What are you going to associate with? I mean, how disgraceful is that? We're talking spirits here. Why is his spirit the same as the child molesters? Why are they from the same umbrella of churches? Protestant, Catholic, Orthodox, Baptist, Pentecostal, Methodist, Amish, Jehovah's Witness. Why are they from the same grouping and they seem nearly identical? You'll never meet a child molester any time in history who seems like how I naturally seem. That is an important fact. Your arm is endowed with power, your hand is strong, your right hand exalted. Righteousness and justice are the foundation of your throne. Love and faithfulness go before you. Blessed are those who have learned to acclaim you, who walk in the light of your presence, Lord. They rejoice in your name all day long. They celebrate your righteousness. Okay? When we look at John and Matthew, it makes it clear that life is righteousness. Righteousness is life. The way, the truth, and the righteousness. Okay? So those who find true righteousness find their souls. They rejoice in your name all day long. They celebrate your righteousness. For you are their glory and strength. And by your favor you exalt our horn. Now again, they're doing all kinds of despicable things. Like my mouth is getting dry right now because of all the fuming and the technologies that they're using. Okay? People who are in a spirit of God will not resort to those tactics. And certainly not on the most righteous person that ever lived and the most righteous person that ever will live. People in any kind of spirit worth having will not resort to those tactics. You know them by their tactics, their strategies, their works, their motives, their beliefs, their cultural values. So again, righteousness and justice are the foundation of your throne. Love and faithfulness go before you. Blessed are those who have learned to acclaim you, who walk in the light of your presence, Lord, the presence of God's righteous spirit. They rejoice in your name all day long. They celebrate your righteousness, for you are their glory and strength, and by your favor you exalt our horn. Righteousness is exalted by people whose opinion is worth counting above everything else. A female worth marrying is only going to marry a righteous man in the Royal African Falcon martial art order. A female worth dating. A leader worth having. A family worth having. They're only going to obey God through me. Indeed, our shield or sovereign belongs to the Lord, our King, to the Holy One of Israel. Okay, so why is that? What is their shield, right? Their shield is like their refuge. Okay, somebody's trying to hit you in the head with a hammer, or rather an axe. You put up your shield and block it, right? Why? Because it's protecting you, and in a certain movement, right? Spirits just meaning breath. It's causing you to breathe heavy. A certain movement, a certain spirit, you're blocking that blow. So that shield is also part of a spirit, a warrior spirit. Once you spoke in a vision to your faithful people, you said, I have bestowed strength on a warrior. I have raised up a young man from among the people. This is one of the most important lines in the Bible when you consider how much people twist what the warrior spirit of God is. And there's a spectrum. Some do it in a very obvious way. Some do it in a less obvious way. Some scientists try to be cute and try to do it in the most subtle way. And they use covert substances and technologies to confuse their congregation. Okay, it's Psalm 89, verse 19. Once you spoke in a vision to your faithful people, you said, I have bestowed strength on a warrior. I have raised up a young man from among the people. See, I've given this guy his true strength, his spiritual strength. Okay? What is his argument? What's he trying to do? Why is he trying to do it? Is it valid? Is it justice? Is it just having ill-gotten gains after I die? Because there's no way to do God's work after I'm dead. After my flesh has died. I have found my servant. With my sacred oil, I have anointed him. So with this, again, Exodus 15:3, the Lord is a warrior, the Lord is his name. With this spiritual oil, he's anointed a warrior. He said, I'm going to find a warrior who's going to man up on the highest level of being a man, which is a holy warrior, and obey God. He set him apart. All the other Israelites fled from the responsibility of facing Goliath. They were terrified. They ran away. That's what it says in 1 Samuel 17. They ran away, where he accepted the challenge. Now, if he was in combat with him and Goliath, charged him and he ran away and ran around a tree and came back the other side and struck him, that would be fair play. If Goliath threw his shield at him and he ran away to dodge it, that would be fair play. If he was in a sparring match and Goliath came with a bunch of guys in an underhanded tactic and he rushed at him and said, I'm going to hit you hard. And he's like, look, that's not what this is about. And he ran away, that would be fair. But they ran away tail tucked because they weren't in the transcendent almighty Spirit of God as the story. But David was in the story. My hand will sustain him. Surely my arm will strengthen him. The enemy will not get the better of him. The wicked will not oppress him. Now we have to make that distinction. The wicked will not oppress him. Well, Saul oppressed him. What's he referring to? The wicked won't truly oppress his spirit because he's in God's spirit. But what's going on, what appears to be going on in the flesh might be a different story. But to what degree? Who, what, when, where, how, why? You can still see what I mean. I will crush his foes before him and strike down his adversaries. Well, did he crush Jesus' foes when he got crucified? Or John the Baptist when he was beheaded? Or Stephen the martyr when he was killed? What about Samson? Did all the enemies of Israel die during that time when he brought down the temple? He's talking about spiritually, in principle and spirit. Woe to they who inherit the earth physically, because the wicked go down to the realm of the dead. All the nations that forget God, God will totally destroy the earth. Isaiah 34, I believe it is. Those who go after ill-gotten gains. Proverbs 1. Proverbs says, stolen water is sweet. Food eaten in secret is delicious, in a different chapter. He said, but little did they know, those who think that. Those who think that stolen water is sweet. Little do they know they're in the realm of the dead. Why wouldn't they know that? Because they're still in the flesh. As the body without the spirit is dead, faith without works is dead in James. Woe to they who take me out of context. Again, it said, I will crush his foes before him and strike down his adversaries. My faithful love will be with him, and through my name his foes through my name his horn will be exalted. So he's saying, I'm going to, in this warrior spirit, I'm going to crush him down. I'm going to crush his adversary, and his spirit, right? His name, who he is, his characteristics, who he was, who he is, who he will be exalted. I am who I am. I am that I am. I am what I will be. I will be what I will be. Who I am is exalted. It doesn't take a brain-surgeon's son to know that I'm exalted over everyone else. Why? Because of principles. Some people say, well, how much money do you have? Money is not only not everything, it can't even buy you kind of basic pagan love. Not all forms of it. Say God versus money. You can't serve two masters. God is almighty. Money is a human construct. Money is fake. It's a false idol. So using what measure? They say, well, popularity. Popularity? Hell, Urkel's popular. Trump is popular. That means nothing. Every celebrity has failed to be decent or better. So we can't say that fame is a valid measure. So we can't say money is a valid measure. We can't say fame. What about expertise? Someone can spend 50 years learning something and brag about how smart they are, hit their head and forget all of it. And then they just served a bootlicking evil system the whole time, bootlicking to the devil, and that's it?